Okay, let's jump right into the EOD. Okay, not much happening on Euro JPY. It's still within the swing high and the swing low here. We've had the pullback right into this 4-hour PY, but nothing in terms of opportunities today because we have had this 4-hour PY near the extreme. So at this stage, we'll start looking for sells, but also still kind of bullish. So it would obviously be premature looking for sells in this area. So now we'll probably wait for either the swing high to break or for it to start showing signs of being bearish again, and then maybe we start looking for the sells. Really nothing much to touch on on Euro JPY. Euro USD, interesting to say the least, but no real following opportunity because we had this break of structure last week, right? Break of structure, we had a pullback, failed to hit this 4-hour POI. Nonetheless, we did end up having an internal break of structure right there, pulls back into this M15 zone, and then we have another internal break to today, and then really no good opportunity to follow as we didn't touch this POI within there, and then it just basically just started pushing up right after that, and I wouldn't have been interested in buys anywhere near the high, even though I do believe this high will go, but obviously want to wait for confirmation instead of just going in preemptively and taking unnecessary losses within there. Last week we did have a loss that I did not get into. Shit. Okay, we'll just cover it in another video. We'll do a recap of that at some point. Oh, what day was it? It was Friday. I think it was Friday actually. I can't remember to save my life, so we'll just see. It was not a bad loss anyway, it was according to the book. Speaking of according to the book, something interesting on GU, right? So GU is bullish right on the M15. Let's see the 4-hour. 4-hour pulls back into this tiny POI here. You get an IBOS right around the time of the internal break of the 4-hour. We do in fact have this M15-minute break of structure, right? Now, as I'm seeing this, the question is, now what? Because technically this, okay, it's a flip, right? A sweep flip. You have your sweep flip right there. It takes liquidity down, goes down, and then pushes up aggressively again with a solid close above this sweep flip, right? And so it's a little bit open for debate, but this was a valid trade, I would say. Just a little bit iffy because you kind of are like following aggressively after a break of structure, which is not necessarily bad. Well, it is a little bit, it is according to the book, but I don't know, it's times like these where I guess having discretion and being that little bit scared or having recency bias, like the last trade you took was a loss, and then you get into here and you start questioning how valid of a trade this is, and then it just happens and moves along. Not great, I'd say. So total count would be 2 missed trades, like valid trades this month would be 2, and then the one loss. Already you can see that the conditions are not great, right? The trades are few and far apart, but just missing out on 2 of those is actually just huge, which has been, I think, one of my biggest criticisms is just missing out on such moves, even though like it's a little bit iffy, a little bit scary, right? It's not the clearest. It's a little bit like of a scary one to take, but nonetheless, it's a sweep flip, right? Sweeps liquidity and then pushes up, and most importantly, closes above the sweep, right? That's what I would look for mostly, like the close above the sweep. Then it comes in, aggressively follow. And because it was such a small POI, you would have been out nice and early. Oof, yeah. I guess it's one other thing to, not really one other thing to work on, but like remove a little bit more of that discretion where you're asking, should I not? Is it according to the book? Yes, then just take it, like just take it and stop asking whether I should or should not take it. Okay, here is that actual USD CAD from last week. Was it Thursday? Don't tell me it was Thursday, it was Friday. It was Friday. A little bit iffy one. Not too bad though. Like, I think the biggest issue with this one was, look at how small it is. Right, very tiny. But okay, let me just quickly explain it, because in terms of today, nothing really followable in here. Nothing really that great in terms of like being able to catch a trade in here. So I'll just recap this one really quick. So last week we had the break right there, right? Hero had the break of structure right down here. This was on Friday, confirmed Friday. So you had a break of structure here, and then you would have your internal movements, right? Eyeballs right there, which would then make, if I can get that right, eyeballs there, then your internal low would have been there. So obviously you would have been looking for buys at this point, right? Playing the pullback, more especially since the break came back immediately. You know that your buys are higher probability. So coming into London in the morning, you have this down move and then like sweep of some sort of liquidity in there, and then when coming back into this POI here, right, into this POI here, we have a reaction which causes a flip. So this is the zone that becomes the flip right there. Now coming into this zone, obviously I'm looking for continuations, even though it's iffy, but this would be like valid POI down here, even though it's a little bit iffy. It would be valid like as the pivot POI, right, which is the one that actually held and then it moved up like I thought it would here. And so if you go onto the M5, you would now see a strong liquidation, right? Market is coming down. We have this inside bar, which means it's a pullback, right? Moves down, and then a sweep of this inside bar right there, and then it comes down, creates this. Once it creates a new low, obviously you want to enter on the next candle when it crosses this candle here. That's our strong liquidation, so that's where I entered. entered on that strong liquidation, and then we took the loss, right? Okay, not bad. I think decent zone. We do have a strong liquidation as well, so I really can't dispute that. Now my only issue was the same liquidation in there could be applied down here, right? Where you would have this from here to move down, right? This is a low, it sweeps a high, right? Sweeps this high, and then you have a strong liquidation right there. But I guess, oh, it's a little bit iffy. Maybe you would have taken another loss in here, honestly. It's a little bit iffy, but if you really zoom in right there, this candle actually crosses, so you may have ended up taking a double loss in here before it came down into here. So maybe it's good I didn't see that. I probably would have ended up taking a double loss, because this is another strong liquidation within the POI. The POI had not failed at the time, so okay, maybe I saved myself. Could have ended up taking another loss in there, because there is no other strong liquidation coming down to this 5-minute candle here. So actually that would have been a second loss. So I guess that's good to miss out on some trades sometimes. Yeah, yeah, let's see tomorrow what happens. Try and be there a little bit more, maybe catch something. Yeah, peace.